Big Man on Campus college football preview video. Today we're taking a look at a couple Week 6 college football games. We'll break it down for you in just a second. Today we're taking a look at Cal heading on the road to take on Oregon. Joe Duffy, he's back yet another week. Joe, how you doing this week?
I'm doing pretty good, Jeff. One of these days I got to get my hair cut. I hope, I don't chase away too many of the women viewers there. But no, off a great NFL weekend, so I'm doing pretty well.
Good. Yeah, I know you're doing well in the NFL. It's been good for you, I know, on that side of the football. Let's get in to Cal and Oregon Week 6. Interesting game here. Oregon, a 17.5-point favorite here at home at Autzen Stadium. You can see it right behind our pictures there, our illustrious pictures. Joe, you look at Oregon, didn't play last week. Cal played Arizona State at home. I watched most of this game. I took Arizona State in the second half. Let's just be honest with ourselves, Joe. Devin Modster did not look like he was a very capable quarterback. Devin Modster struggled to throw the football. Devin Modster, a guy that played at UCLA, wasn't able to hack it there as the quarterback, transfers to Cal, and he had trouble in Ross Bowers' cleanup duty. Didn't play well. This defense, always very good, but I saw a little bit of a bend in this defense. They didn't look like the normal defense that we kind of know them for. Now you got to head up on the road. You got to take on an Oregon team that, as we know, is very good. Joe, in fact, I believe the last time you played Oregon, it was the game they played against Stanford, a game in which they got the job done in. Big number here. Do you have any reason to think Cal can go up on the road and get a cover here?
I do not, Jeff. And in fact, years ago, one of the very, very few people I know in this industry who could probably hold his own with you as far as just knowing the personnel off the top of his head. I remember him telling me that he loved to bet good home teams off of a bye. And I said, I can look that up. And he was right. Ranked home teams off of a bye are 103, 72, and 4. It's not sensational, but it's pretty darn good. And admittedly, this has not been my best year as far as my so-called bubble burst theory, or the best start. But fading teams off of their first loss of the year, especially if they were ranked 17th or higher when they lost the game, 131, 90, and 2, that would favor Oregon, and 61.2% if the team that we're betting on is not a home underdog. For Cal, the quarterback Garders is questionable. 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 952 yards passing, 127 yards rushing. So, he would be a big loss. And I'm not as much of a contrarian bettor as I used to be, and it is early. But one thing I definitely agree with, I know that, Brent Musburger's network likes to say it, and it's been my experience. You like to fade, I think they call it the chic underdog. 77% of the money, 77% of the bets are on Cal, at least in the early betting. Public usually doesn't like underdogs, and when they like underdogs, the contrarian betting does pretty well. That's probably the best contrarian angle, when the public really likes an underdog to bet against those chic underdogs. Now, I will say, conversely, it doesn't fit into any of my great systems, but California is right on the cusp, especially if the total drops a little bit. But big underdogs with fairly low totals are usually a good play, but California falls a little bit outside of all of my best systems here. Still, all in all, with all that stuff pointing towards Oregon, I do think there's going to be a blowout here, so I will lay the lumber.
Yeah, a couple things here. Obviously, you want to, as the week goes on, we're recording this on Monday evening. It's important to understand if Chase Garbers is going to put. Who's the quarterback for Cal? I'm getting the names confused.
Yeah, Gardner.
Chase Garbers. Yeah. Ross Bowers used to be the quarterback. Garbers is the quarterback. It's important to know if he will play or not. He is a big upgrade over the backup. Devin Modster, Joe, cannot move the football. And you look at this Oregon team over the last 3 weeks, they've given up 15 points combined. Keep in mind, one of those games was against Nevada, pretty good offense. Another one of those games was against Stanford. We know Stanford can't move the ball, Joe, but they're very similar to what Cal is. The concern I have here, though, for Oregon is Cal is a team that can hang defensively. They can stay in games through the defensive output. I've not been particularly impressed, at least recently. I was surprised at Oregon's inability to move the ball against Stanford. I thought it'd be a little bit better. Again, you're getting a number that's above that 17 number, but you're right. You're on to something here with the fact of this is a home team that Oregon's a good home team. They always are. I think the one concern we had, Joe, and I remember that breakdown when Oregon played Stanford, I was concerned. The only concern I had was Oregon on the road. They've not been a particularly good road team. But in this game, they're back at the friendly confines of Autzen Stadium. Again, I need to know what's going on with Garbers before I do anything here. But I do agree with you. If he doesn't play, this has to be the pick. It moved up to 17.5, which is obviously an interesting thought process here as well. And as you said, these dogs that the public falls in love with generally don't get the job done. Joe, a total very low in this game.
Yeah.
Kind of an indication this could be like a 31-7 type of game.
Right, and that's precisely, or a friend of mine taught me a word I like, exactly what I was saying, where the one thing that does worry me is California could wind up falling into one of my angles where you go, and it makes so much sense, but big underdogs with low totals are usually good plays, where conversely, big favorites with high totals are pretty good plays, and that's one of my few systems that falls under something that would be more intuitive than counterintuitive. But like I said, still, I do have some specific numbers, and the total's got to be a little bit lower than it is now for California to fall into that. But yeah, when points are tough to come by, clearly points are much more valuable, and the points aren't going to be all that easy to come by for Oregon here.
Have to agree with you here. I think Oregon wins. Honestly, I could see like 31-10, something like that, 31-7, 34-10. I think Cal's a lot of trouble moving the ball, but we need to know what the status of Garbers is. Joe, as always, great stuff. Thanks for breaking down Cal Oregon. We'll get to another game in just a second. Before we do that, though, give us a plug for offshoreinsiders.com.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. In fact, I wish I looked at, I believe I'm 32-15 in the NFL going back to preseason. Ahead in football for the year, too. College football has been some up and downs, but college and NFL combined has been tremendous. And I already put up my first wave of winners for this weekend in college and NFL at offshoreinsiders.com.
32-15, impressive work. That's about 68%. Obviously, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We're only 4 weeks in, but that's really good stuff over a 47-game sample size. Great work, Joe. We'll look forward to talking to you on another video. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jeff.